This is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com, and it's time for another episode of Fast Action Friday. This is my birthday. So if you see a lot of extra things going on in the chat boxes, you'll know why. I actually call it my birthday because back when I was 18 and delivered my first baby on July 9th, I had a lot of trouble, went into a coma, then ruptured in the uterus area and actually bled out 3 times and was medically revived 3 times. And when did I come to? On my birthday. So I celebrate a birthday. I'm a lucky girl to be here this many years later. That was 45 years ago. My special guest today is Yvonne A. Jones, who's going to be taking us through her tips about preparing a business makeover and the importance of relationship marketing, which is what we're doing here today because this is a live show with wonderful feedback and you can watch the replay, but we try to connect with people here. So Yvonne, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Kat. And I want to tell you how much I appreciate your inviting me to be here because I've watched your shows and I know the amazing men and women that you've had on your shows. So thank you. Well, a little bit about me is that, as everyone can tell, and they may be wondering, what is that accent? I'm actually Jamaican. I was born, raised in Jamaica. I migrated to the United States in 1989. And last year, my husband and I decided to go back to Jamaica. So I was here for 26 years and worked in corporate America, did my own thing eventually. And I have been online since the end of 2008. And I won't go into the different steps and the different things. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a business coach now. And my passion, though, that has gone through the years from as far back as when I was 17 years old and was sent on my first training course by the bank that I was with, a commercial bank in Jamaica, has been to do the customer relationship. Because that course triggered for me, made me realize the difference when I got back to work and I was in the foreign exchange department of, this was one of the largest commercial banks, and it was an English bank at the time before it was, whatever. Anyway, it made such a huge difference when I decided to implement this. And saw when I greeted customers by their name, when they walked in the bank, oh my goodness, their face just lit up. And they no longer saw themselves as just a number. They saw themselves as someone who was important to you, important to the bank. And I've taken that through the years. When I worked in HR with internal customers who would be the over 300 employees that I was responsible for, as well as dealing with outside vendors, external, that helped me tremendously. And as I grew, both in corporate and working for myself, and I expanded that after I walked away from corporate America, took some additional training classes in customer service, and developed that to the relationship. So I'm very passionate about that, and I see the difference, and it makes me sad, first of all, when companies, small and large, keep spending a lot of money chasing new clients and chasing and doing everything that they can, and they forget about the people who supported them from the beginning. So if I sound very passionate about it, and I'm not telling very much about myself otherwise, but that is where my passion is.
I hear you so much.
Because I see the difference it can make.
Right. I've been involved in the hospitality industry in many ways. My husband's a professional chef. I've worked with him in managing Best Western at one time in a banquet center and several restaurants and a historic bed and breakfast. And it was one thing I was always helping to train the staff with because we're in a rural area, but also a tourist area. Mm-hmm. So they liked the tourist season because they made more money. But I had to tell them, you've got to treat your locals well too, because every tourist that's here is usually here because of a local person. And those local people are your bread and butter in the off season. So you better be treating them as nicely as you do the people you're only going to see once. All right. So let's get to some of the tips that you have for us today. What can we do to improve our relationship marketing?
Okay. Well, for one thing, it's important for us to be customer focused, client focused. So let's start with, first of all, we may wonder, why do we need a makeover? Why is it necessary? Well, it depends a lot on how long you have been in business. And so the first tip that I would start with is your brand. Because as a small business owner or an entrepreneur, your brand is the perception that others have of you. And so you want to make sure that your brand is in alignment with what your services and products are reflecting right now. Because many of us started with one intention, one goal. And along the way, we have diversified or we have added something else. And so it's important that we go back and analyze that and make sure that what we're offering right now, or the perception that we want people to have of us, reflects what we are offering right now. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. So really a little bit of reflection, taking that little bit of time for a review of your purpose.
Right. Exactly.
Is so important.
Because our brand is our packaging, our perception, so it has to be relevant. There's no point in our website says one thing, but we're offering something else. Because I know I've been guilty of that in the past. I changed what I was doing and I didn't update it. Lack of relevance.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be. So then your customer, that's all a part of the relationship marketing, because when your customer, they want to know what you have to offer. What are you doing to attract them? So that's so important, because the first stage is the attraction. Yes, you love the first date clients, just like you were talking about the locals in that area. They are the people that you want to build. They want to build that relationship with, because they're there all the while. You love the first date and you love the occasional one, but you want the dating for the lifetime clients. Exactly. Where they're there with you and supporting you.
Right. You should be wanting not just a sale, but a customer, someone who does repeat business with you. Mm-hmm. All right. So what's next?
Then the next thing is your website. Whether you work online, your business is online totally, or you're offline with an online presence, it's important that you go back periodically and look at your website. For many of us, we may have created our website 10 years ago or whatever it is, the number. Technology has changed. There's so many, and I'm not saying go out and get a fancy, expensive theme. There are many low-cost themes that can update your website, just like you have your beautiful home that you painted 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, but nature takes its course, and so the paint looks dull, and you want to put a refresher on it. You want to make it attractive and appealing, because let's face it, if your website looks like it's from the Flintstone age, nobody's going to want to stay. We have 3 seconds. 3 seconds to capture people's attention. And if we don't keep it relevant, make it easy to negotiate, it must be mobile friendly. And we know Google took strict action against that. If your website is not mobile friendly, it's not responsive, then you go down in the rankings. So you're not going to just do it for Google, but you want to do it to make it life easy for your clients and customers, or your potential clients and customers who visit your website. And maybe change the colors too.
You're right. Doesn't it also help us recommit to our energy that we put into it? It's kind of like taking a shower and putting on brand new clothes. You know, it's like gives us a lift too. But I love that.
I like that, and I like the movement of your shoulders too.
So great. Okay, so what's next? So we looked at reviewing to see if our brand matches what we're actually saying. So what people are getting from us matches what we think we're sending out, and to see if we need to refresh our premises online, our virtual site,
a virtual real estate. Yes, and then we have the marketing plan. Many of us didn't start our business with a marketing plan, or we maybe didn't even have a business plan. We just started a business, whether from need or whatever it was, but we weren't necessarily as fully organized as we should have been. And we weren't seeking funding from the SBA or from a bank, so we felt we didn't need it. But a marketing plan is very essential, because I just want to read this quote from Peter Drucker. He said, "The aim of marketing is to know and understand the customer so well that the product or service fits him or her so that it sells itself." So the only way we can do that is to know who our customers are, know who our competitors are, what they're offering, what is it that's going to make us stand out. Now, when we know who our customers are, then we determine how are we going to market to them. We must have a system, because if you don't have a path, you don't have a goal, any road will take you there. And a lot of times the roads will take you away from the customers that you're really trying to attract. So a part of your marketing plan is to study who your ideal clients are, how you can serve them, where they are, where they hang out. And all this comes together in a comprehensive, doesn't have to be lengthy, but a simple marketing plan that gets the message and keeps you on track. Again, the whole idea is that this is building a relationship. It's making it easy. It's all customer centric. It's others focused. It's the customer focused. So that is, if you've never done a marketing plan, as when I first started my business, I didn't even know anything about a formal marketing plan that was necessary for me just starting online. So I had to create one afterwards. And I encourage you, the listeners, if you've never done one, just create a simple one, simple marketing plan.
Exactly. You don't need the formal one. If you take a business course and you've done the 70-page one with all of the financials, and it helps to have a break even for what you're offering, so you know what you're aiming for, but just narrow it down to what do you want to do, who do you want to serve, and how are you going to bridge those two things, make them happen.
Right.
So yes, I love, there's a book, and I forgot his name right now, but it's called a one-page marketing plan.
Do you know, I just ordered that and I'm waiting for it to be put in my mailbox today. I just ordered it on Wednesday on Prime Day.
Yep, I recommend it highly to a lot of my clients. All right. So I know we want to keep going. So I know you've got some more good information.
Yeah.
So should we look at next?
Well, every small business owner, whether you like it or not, you have to embrace social media. It's no longer an option. Of course, it does take time. And so for a lot of that reason, I remember when I was doing a lot of local marketing and I did a lot of networking, I would hear the same thing at networking. Oh, I don't want to be on social media. It takes too much time. Yes, it does. But you have to consider it as an investment in time, not a cost. But also, you also have to know what to do to use the time effectively. Because if you're just there playing on social media and you're not marketing, and of course we know we're not selling, and selling is different from marketing because the first word in that is social. So I actually got these 5 points from an infographic that Grow Social did. So I'm just going to go ahead and share them quickly.
Go ahead.
The first one is updating your avatar. Your avatar, your photo should be a professional photo of yourself, not a group shot. Yeah, it doesn't matter how informal the site is, even if it's Facebook. Of course, for LinkedIn, it's definitely got to be a professional shot. Even if you're selling boats, it's not appropriate to have a picture of yourself just in a bikini or something like that on LinkedIn, because this is a professional network. But your avatar, and also on your various social media sites, you want to have the same photo so that there's continuity. Then the next one was, when was the last time you updated your banner or your background? A lot of the social media sites now allow you to create a banner. Again, for continuity, it's a great idea to have the similar banner, even if you make little tweaks to it on the various platforms. And make sure that it reflects what you have to offer. Then there's content. Content marketing is huge. So posting good content and on a consistent basis is essential. And the thing is that it doesn't have to be your content necessarily. You can share other people's content, because what your goal is to bring value to your potential customers and your current customers. You want to bring value to them. So it might not have to come from you. There's so many resources in your niche. You find the influencers, and you find the people who are sharing good content, and you go out and share that, because you could become a valuable resource for your network. Then, and of course, you do simple tweaks. For example, Twitter, we know it's a total of 140 characters, so you have to keep that short. You can share the same information on LinkedIn, for example, if it's appropriate, or you share it on Facebook, but you expand that, or on Google Plus, you expand that. And what I personally, people differ, but what I personally do and what I teach to my clients is that don't share the same information on the same day on all your platforms, because if somebody's following you on 3-4 platforms, you don't want them to go to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to Google Plus and see the exact same thing. I kind of stagger it. And what I will do is that Google Plus is highly concentrated on keywords. So I will change something and make sure that my keywords are in the Google Plus post, because that helps you to get ranked on Google Plus very quickly. So let me move on. You want to study and follow trends. For example, I am one of those people. I don't like to do videos. The reality is that videos, that's what all the research shows. Videos are very critical right now. People want to see videos. They want to see you, not just to read one-dimensional posts. So we have to stay on trend, see what's going on in the market, what our clients and customers want, what they need, and we have to adapt to that. Then, of course, there's the last one. I think I did 4. So the 5th one is your engagement. Be proactive in engaging with your network. When they respond to you, make sure and respond to them, because it's like, how would you feel if you go to a networking event and you say hello to someone, I am so-and-so, and they just walk away, they ignore you. That's the same thing we do on social media. If people say something, make a comment or like something, and we just totally ignore them. So we want to keep using all of these things. Social media is there, but it's also a means of building relationships and keeping that relationship going. And of course, the big companies now are using social media extensively to extend customer service there. And we need to be where our customers are. So if they have a challenge, don't tell them to go back to your website for the answer. Answer them right there on social media.
Or at least give them a good gem of part of that answer and then direct them back to the website for more in-depth, or to continue a private conversation. Exactly. Or here's the written information. I agree. To me, that's one thing you can't automate, is your engagement with your followers on social media. You know, you can automate when your posts go out. You can automate what it's going to say and the frequency, but you should be the one doing engagement and actually reading posts and going through them. And if you have somebody helping you do that, they need to be, if they're representing you, they need to be able to nail your voice in a message.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
Right. So we are like 48, we're a little past 15 minutes, which is great. So we're getting into our bonus Q&A time, because we like to finish at 11 o'clock. I know you've got a couple more tips for us that are really, really important to help us improve our relationship marketing. So
yes, my 6th point, and the 6th point, because we had 6, is it? I think I covered them all. I hope so. Oh no, I left one out.
Plan, website, social media. I think we're on 5.
Yes, we're going on 5 now. And this is your physical image.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yep. Your image. We touched on the online image of the real estate online with the website, but there are other types of images. There are lots of businesses that have a physical location. What does your location look like? Does it invite people? Do people get a warm feeling that, this is somewhere that's welcoming them? So we might have to look at a lot of people, they rent, and they may need to, if they can't do anything about the exterior, which is sometimes needs a lot of help, but they can make the inside welcoming. Make it somewhere that people want to stay. You don't want them to just get in and get out, You want them to feel welcome. So you do make it be as creative as possible, so that people can feel when they come into your business place, they're at home. And at the same time, when your actual brochures, make sure your brochures, I have seen brochures that have taped on them. They have old phone numbers taped white out and that kind of thing. That's a no-no, because people are judging you. Good or bad, they are, whether it's right or wrong, they're judging you by your brochures, your business card, everything like that. So you want to make people, and even the way you appear when you to your customers. If you have an appointment, I have a thing that I got from Nancy Matthews. about the one philosophy. Imagine that you are the one for someone for every single day. So when you walk up there, with whether you are with a handbag or with a briefcase, you want to be the kind of person who attracts people to you by just even sometimes the way you appear. And we're not saying that you're going out and getting a Prada shoe and handbag and that kind of thing. No, it's just simply be put together, because it's us. Again, it's our brand. We are our brand for small business owners. Yes, there's a corporate brand, but we are our brand. So these are the things that we have to be conscious of, and we may need to do a little makeover on as far as that is concerned. So that we can, while we look at structures, we look at other things like website and so on. Sometimes for us, we may need to do a little makeover too.
And you have to understand your industry. I know when I was doing a lot of work for the local newspaper and we're in a rural area, I didn't go out to interview farmers in a three-piece suit and heels.
There you go.
I wore suitable, sturdy shoes because I'd be climbing into, barns and sometimes over cattle or whatever. But I had clean, nice, dressier jeans, a nice top, and a simple blazer. So I still, one-upped it from what I wore to actually work on my own farm at the time, So you have to dress appropriately for your industry. But one thing I tell nonprofits that I work with sometimes is people aren't going to donate to a sinking ship. And if you're in a for-profit business, you don't want to look like a sinking ship either, because you carry no authority, expertise in what you do. All right. So Cindy says she agrees with you, Yvonne. And Cindy says there are some people who say you should always send people to your website. And she agrees with you that it is better to be personal and answer the question wherever it appears instead of forcing them to go somewhere else. That makes more sense, since I dislike clicking other places to go find answers. And she's got that in capital letters. I don't mind someone who says to find out more, go to my website, or even I have more details on my website. I just don't like being rerouted to a website directly. And I so agree with that.
Oh, so thank you, Cindy. That is awesome.
Yeah, to me, that's even true with a lot of the emails I get anymore that only have a teaser headline and then teaser text. And then I have to click another button and go to the website to read what the message is. Either give me more of the message and then tell me what else I can find on the website. But don't force me. I mean, it's an unnecessary step,
Yes.
You just put distance between us instead of brought us closer together. Chuck, you have an example you'd like to share? Feel free to put it in the chat. Maybe he's typing. Nice to have you. All right. So you've got one more tip, I know.
Yes. And the last one is perhaps the biggest one. And that is, all of these put together build relationships when done correctly with your clients and customers. But the key one is actually taking time to evaluate what you're doing on a consistent basis to build that relationship with your existing clients and customers. So some searching questions would be like, when was the last time I sent an unexpected card to my customer? An unexpected handwritten note or card to my customer. When was the last time, if you have a customer for a while, when was the last time I sent just a simple thank you message or a thank you gift? We talk about direct marketing doesn't work anymore because of all the digital age. Direct marketing still works. It still works if done correctly. Then recently I got from a company, out of the blue, I got this nice little bulky package. And of course, my curiosity was aroused. And what was in it? A nice platinum ballpoint pen, but looks very stylish with the name of my business on it. And I thought that was so neat. Now I'm keeping this paper when I'm ready. If I need their services, I have it. Now this is what we want to create: top of mind awareness in our customers always. And so we stay in contact with them. We follow up with them. They purchase something from us. We don't just say, oh, great, they purchased and they'll come back again when it's done. And this is especially, I find this because I have also been I was a skincare, even while working in corporate America for 14 years, I was also a skincare consultant. And I know that one of the things that allowed me to keep my clients, my very first client was with me until I decided I no longer wanted to do that, and I turned it over. And that was because I learned from someone else at an early stage in that business: send a simple thank you card. It can be a postcard. Follow up. Mm-hmm. Pick up the phone. Great, I'm happy you purchased so-and-so from me. How is it going for you? Is it working okay? Because you know what? There were times when something didn't work for someone. And when I expected them to call and reorder, and when I followed up with them, no, I'm not ordering that thing again. I didn't like it. No, if I had followed up within the 3 days or the 3 weeks after, I would have known that a long time ago and be able to correct it. And that would not have caused a break in the relationship. So it's sitting back and analyzing what we are doing to make our customers, our existing customers, feel special. We know the banks and the internet providers and so forth, they're notorious for giving wonderful gifts to attract new customers. We don't want to do that. We want to make our existing customers feel special because our business is built on people. So nurturing that relationship is what is going to cause our business to grow, so that we know we can bring back the fun in our business and stop spending all our time chasing new clients and customers.
Right. And it's true across the board. It's cheaper to keep a customer than it is to go out and find new customers.
Absolutely. And when you have new products, it's easier to get, you have a market there who will be willing to test your products and give you their honest feedback because they're interested in your success. They have been doing business with you and they have built an emotional bond with you, because the fact is, Kat, until your customers and your clients have built that emotional bond with you, you don't have a loyal customer. So that is what we need to strive for, because that is what, so that whole concept is, if we haven't been doing it, then it's time to sit down and how do I do this over so that I can, it's like a makeover. How do I go through this process so that if I have not been, oh my, I'm sorry, my antivirus thing popped up. So if I have not been doing that, if you have not been doing that, you can start doing that.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter if we're just a digital business, if we do most of our work online, or if we're a bricks and mortar. I mean, there's a reason my husband would go out in clean chef uniform to talk to the customers eating, you know, and he wanted to know what was good, what needed improvement, because he couldn't fix anything if he didn't know what the problem was. He didn't know what else to do or what to add more of that people liked, unless he went out and asked. You can't rely on them just telling you. You have to ask. Exactly. Chuck did follow through in the chat window, and his thoughts or advice about Facebook. On Facebook, when a person asks how much, and these are 5- and 6-figure products, many in the business want to send the question elsewhere. And I would say, I would agree with you, Chuck. A lot of them do. And here's my take on that. Some of those people asking that question are following someone else's model for business. That other person may have that 5- or 6-figure business with that model. They're new to it. They're not comfortable. They don't have that answer. They don't have the confidence in answering it right there. I personally don't do a lot of price talking, investment talking directly on my social media, because it's very subjective, because I offer highly customized services. And they get tweaked depending on the level of my involvement someone wants with me. But that's interesting. So there's then later on, we answer the question directly on social media, very specifically. And last week brought in another 200,000 in sales. That is awesome. That's an excellent example of doing exactly what you recommended, Yvonne, is helping to answer that question right there, showing your transparency and your honesty
Right.
with it. Yeah,
And it even
great.
helps with your reputation too, because other people are watching. The thing is that we have to remember on social media is that even though I ask you a question, we have no idea how many hundreds of other people are watching to see how you are going to handle the question. And so this is closely tied in with our reputation as well.
Exactly. And they look to see how you answer a negative comment or a controversial issue as well. You know.
Exactly.
All right. Well, these were awesome reminders and some tweaks to things that other people are teaching that just never quite set right for me. So you and I are on the same page with what's important here. We'll take any last questions. If anybody has a last question, give some extra props with the little hands to Yvonne for the awesome stuff she shared.
Thank you for those props too.
All right. And I will be shutting off the recording in just a minute. I'm going to let it go for just a minute or two, and we'll stick around for another couple minutes for any last question and answers, which is why it's important to join us live, because sometimes you get to hear juicy bits and awesome things that you don't get in the recording. One last time, if you're in the chat room, Chuck, I don't think you were here when I offered this earlier. Go ahead and put your links to a website, to a special offer you have, to your social media profile if you'd like. I'm in the trust business. I trust people to put things that are appropriate in the sidebar. So feel free to do that.
And I'll just put here to I have an entrepreneurial tips set of two PDFs and an audio talking about customer relationship too, that they can get on my, that's not on my main website, it's on my landing page at blueprint4biz.com.
All right, great. Let's see. And then have you got that? I've got that link right here. I can put that in here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
There we go. That's for Yvonne's entrepreneur's kit. And just for those who may be only listening live and not seeing the chat, it's http://blueprint4biz.com. And of course, that's all with no spaces. Thank you, Yvonne, for being an awesome guest for today. I know we moved you from when you were out of the country and we were able to reschedule. Love to have you back sometime. And I'm going to stop the recording for now. Stick around, though, for a little extra bonus.
Thank you, Katz. I enjoyed being here. Thank you.
This is Kat Sturtz from rockingyourpath.com, closing this episode of Fast Action Fridays. See you next week. Remember to keep rocking your unique path to success.